to the another edition of Women of AV from AV Today. We started this series to highlight the leadership of women in our AV industry, which is generally perceived as, something very technical meant for men, and women has have very little role to play. But we have been meeting people who've been excellent in terms of leading the organizations for more than 1 or 2 decades. And one of them we have today who actually do not require any introduction because she's well known in the industry for leading a organization for more than 2 decades, which is Office 2000. I have none other than Prabha Lakshmi, the CEO of Office 2000 Solution with us. Hi, Prabha. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest.
It's as much here too. So
Yes.
happy to be with you.
We want to start off asking you a simple question as to, are you in the AV industry by choice or by chance?
Most certainly by choice.
Okay.
Before I joined AV, I was already 17 years with the IT industry. And that's when two very good friends of mine, Azhar and Prem, called me, invited me to join them and be a part of the startup that they had established 3, 4 years before. IT to AV, I wasn't too sure how difficult that jump would be. But the confidence I had in these two gentlemen to make it very meaningful made me take the job. There were also a couple of friends who helped me make the decision. So they were my sounding board. They made sure that I had the conviction to take the plunge before I really made the decision. I wouldn't say it was an obstacle, but it was most certainly a challenge deciding at that point in time when IT was ruling the roost and everything was hunky dory. I was enjoying what I was doing and part of a leadership team elsewhere before I took the plunge and joined a startup which was offering me maybe 1/40th of the salary that I was drawing elsewhere. So that
So
was
at the time you were with Microland
I was with my client.
in a senior position.
Yes.
Right. So did you join Office 2000 as an AV organization or your husband's organization?
I joined Office 2000 as an AV organization very
Okay.
clearly. I was one of those who was very clear that I wanted a career that made huge sense to me and in everything that I wanted to do in life.
Okay.
Therefore, nothing would have convinced me to join if it had not been that I was still looking forward to build the kind of career and to be able to do everything that I wanted to do as a career woman in life. If that conviction had not come across, I would never have joined, even if it was others' company.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, how did your journey start? So, what did you find interesting in this industry? Because generally, people think that it's very technical. It's something to do with cable installation and all that stuff, and it's not meant for women. So, how did you come along taking it, and how did you get into it?
At that time when I joined, AV was completely different from IT.
Mm-hmm.
Today we see that they've all sort of dovetailed, they've amalgamated somewhere, and AV rides on IT and all that stuff. But in those days, they were distinctly different from one another.
Mm-hmm.
The technology was very different, and the kind of solutions that we took to the customers were very different from what an IT solution would ever look like. Which meant that I had to burn the midnight oil or read up whatever was available or learn from people who've already been there and done that to understand before I pitched my case to any client. That was a very difficult proposition to me because I'm very used to being there, doing that, talking to people, and which meant that I had to start from ground zero and learn it up. So I guess almost for 6 months, I did not dare to take any client calls.
Okay.
And I just learned. I made sure that I learned from people who knew from the team that was already existent in Office 2000 and by also reading up. And only when I had this conviction that I understood what this technology could deliver to the client as a business case did I ever venture out to talk to people. And it was around the same time that Office 2000 also took the plunge or sort of metamorphized from being a product company to a project company. It was around the same time that this happened. So it all sort of worked very well. So when I was just entering, the shift was also happening, and it made all the difference to me.
Excellent. So I wanted to understand when you got into it, how was the response from the client side when you went for discussions, project discussions, or bidding? Did they expect it to be strange to see a woman coming in presenting a solution or a project or a bidding process? Was there any difference?
That's actually a lovely question. I've always been in sales. So whether it was IT and thereafter, even when I joined Office 2000, I was clearly taking on the role of business acquisition, and therefore the sales team was dovetailing into me. Before I could even say this, I want to say leave India. Even outside of India, there have been instances when I've noticed that clients, people could not actually take technology from home. They looked at us more as people who could actually sell hotel space, or we could sell events, or we could do something which is more related to marketing or something which is nothing to do with technology. But in India, I already had my set of clients who had trusted me and worked with me in information technology, and they knew I clearly understood what I was bringing to them and committed right and delivered whatever I had committed. So, therefore, that challenge of being able to go ahead and address a client who was looking at a woman talking technology did not exist for me in India.
So that means you had the advantage of existing relationships where you could take this.
Absolutely.
What about new clients?
Even with new clients, as far as India went, I did not face that challenge at all.
Okay.
They never looked at me as someone uh, who is from the fairer sex and probably may not deliver deliver her pitch or her case or her solution as good as what a man could do.
Okay.
To answer this question, I think AV is yet another industry which is most certainly not stereotyped. This is not the typical engineering services kind of industry that we're looking at. Here, you don't have to be an electrical or an electronics engineer to be able to deliver whatever role you have to deliver. You can actually be qualified in anything. You can be a mechanical guy, you could be a fine arts person, you could actually be somebody who's gone ahead and done architecture, you could be somebody who's done, leave sound engineering now is more appropriate. Here, it is this is really, really far away from a typical stereotype engineering job. And that's what makes it so exciting, so very challenging, and something new that is coming up every day. Something new to learn every given day.
It's more creative.
Absolutely. And therefore, if you even look at our team, you will find that you have someone who's actually done fine arts being a part of our marketing team. Somebody who's actually gone ahead and done computer science, uh, being a document writer, making sure that we deliver extremely beautiful documentation, project documentation at the end of every project. Every job here is so very interesting and so very unlike a stereotype job. I'm sure anybody can make a fantastic career with AV as long as they have a passion, an eye for video, and a ear for audio. That's all you need.
That sums up very beautifully. So, going back to the question, Prabha, how was the response from your industry peers who competed at the client's place along with you?
Again, um, we were talking a little while ago. This industry is still nascent. This industry is still young. This is not an age-old industry. There is all of us are on the learning curve, and all of us want to be of as much support to one another as possible. This is a very beautiful industry. While we do compete with each other in the market, uh, there is a sense of the sense of friendship and well-meaning for each other when we meet or even when we think about each other.
Yeah.
And you'll be very surprised. Girish, my colleague, he had just about every single AV guy for his daughter's wedding. Everybody was surprised saying, "Oh my God, just about all the so-called competition of yours is here."
True.
How does it matter?
Relationships.
You redefine competition.
Correct.
Relationship is what
Correct. I remember during your Silver Jubilee event, one of the industry guys came and said in the initial stages, when you were at the client's place, he said, she's a woman, I am going to win the project. I'm not, scared of somebody like Prabha. Then after you started talking, then he understood, no, she knows this subject and she's the right person. So did you have that kind of experiences in the initial stages?
If people have gone ahead and underestimated the capability that we bring as women to the table, uh, personally, I have not.
Okay.
There could have been skepticism in client's mind with respect to how far I can go with the commitment and keep up. But I guess once you deliver, there is no looking back. And again, we were talking about relationships, right? Uh, that is another cornerstone. That is another very beautiful thing that has happened. For me, 17 years of IT, most of them in India, has actually helped me carry a set of clients who even work with me today after 21 years with Office 2000 as well. They still work with me for all their AV related requirements. We still continue to be good friends when we are not working. So I think relationship is another very critical thing for you to succeed. Maintaining a relationship that transcends beyond just work. So therefore, what becomes critical here? I have committed to deliver this to David, and I need to make sure that is better than the best that you could ever get. And therefore, I'm committed to making sure that you succeed in whatever your key performance indicators are, whatever your KRIs are within your organization. So when I deliver AV to someone, I'm ensuring that he succeeds in the role and the task that he's taken up from a project perspective for within the organization. So I make sure that his success is my KRI, and then you're good.
I think that reflects in every work of yours, if I'm not mistaken. So the other point of Prabha, I wanted to understand is you're a first generation entrepreneur, right? So from job to business, and how did you balance your family and business? Because obviously it requires more concentration. You have to spend more time understanding the business and meeting clients. So your schedules may not be like while you're on a job, okay, your work time is defined. But when you're on your own, you need to extend, you need to be flexible, right? So, how did you balance your family and business?
Again, a question that I've answered in many of the talk sessions that I've had. Striking a balance between home and workplace. Frankly speaking, there is no such thing as striking a balance.
Okay.
Um, it actually resolves on its own. When you have a very supporting family and your workplace comes to know that Prabha Lakshmi has a very supporting family, they actually look forward to returning the favor.
Oh.
So anytime when home needs me, there are a bunch of them who stand up and say, it's time, I think you should go, we will manage. So it happens very automatically. So I guess it's only ensuring that people at home know my workplace very well and people at workplace know my family very well. So they become a part of the whole. And when you need to prioritize one against the other, it becomes very easy. You have a bunch of them already standing up and saying, you go, we shall manage.
That's very interesting. That's very fortunate also. So another question, Prabha, is you've been in AV industry for the last more than last 2 decades, and you still see that there are very few women leaders in our industry. So what do you think is stopping more women coming into these leadership roles in our industry, especially?
I think it's the knowledge of the industry itself that is lacking.
Okay.
In fact, I've mentioned this even to our friends in Avixa, saying that we need to propagate AV very differently. We need to let people know that AV is a very potent, very interesting, and very beautiful industry to be a part of. Again, I repeat what I said a few minutes earlier. This is not stereotype. This is very different. And you have all the flexibility and options that one would look for to build an exciting career for oneself. You have work at home, work from home options. You have partial working from home, working from office options. There are women who have joined us who have gone on mat leave and who stayed on for almost 14 to 16 months with a baby and yet delivered exemplary value.
Wow.
All that you need to do is support them, give them it all starts with providing them with a nice table and a chair and a very comfortable work environment at home and say, you work whenever you have to work. 24 hours, you just choose your time. I mean, I think when we know that when I come to know that I can deliver extremely well from wherever I am, I think it doesn't stop anyone from being a part of this industry. I think primarily we need to propagate the fact that this is an industry that will enable you to excel in whatever format you choose to work.
So that message actually is not
Very
reaching.
strongly.
Yes, that's where I think we are
Doing
lacking.
it time and again, but we seem to be restricting it to the women who are already in Navy. We need to reach out beyond this.
That's very interesting. I think going forward, we need to actively take some steps to engage more women, right? And especially you being on the Women Council of Avixa, I think should come out with some ideas to get more women to participate.
To reach to those women who are outside of the industry and to say, look at this industry.
Correct.
You need to consider being there. You can be rest assured, you can be 100% sure that you will find something that will be of great interest to you and immense satisfaction. The kind of satisfaction levels that you have here. Again, there are no, it's not that it's already a treaded path, right? There's so much new that one can bring to the table. There is so much of originality that one can bring to one's own job. I think all this is what adds to the charm. It's not like it's already treaded. You need to walk a path that's already been walked. You are actually walking a path where nobody has been there before, which is fantastic on its own. And the industry is ever evolving. What we delivered um, 3 months ago is not we're delivering today. And again, to make sure that the kind of expectations from the client, what do we get our clients to ask today? Earlier, they used to ask us to give a presentation, say what is the kind of solutions that we've engineered for them, make a good presentation, talk with conviction, answer all their questions, and they'll be very happy. But there is so much of knowledge that's available with the end users, with the clients today. There are times when they know much more than what you would know yourself. So it's not even demonstrating a product today. They've gone one step beyond. You take a solution to them, they want you to prove that solution before they go ahead and make an investment or agree to the solution and make an investment. And therefore, we are now at a point where we design something and then we mobilize the equipment and we prove the solution for them. They get the clients over to experience the solution and then go ahead and roll it out for them. And that's why Beyond the Center and you start going ahead and making investments in the right place because there is so much of information and for them experiencing and delivering. There is no more product demonstrations. It's only solution proofing.
Excellent. Yeah, that experience is where AV actually stands out against all the other industries. And a few points about your organization, Prabha, because I've seen your stuff and I've seen your event, 25th year anniversary event. And I know that you've built a beautiful organization. More than an organization, you've built it as a family. I like the way your employees trust you. They take you as a leader. So I want to understand how did you manage to build it? What's the secret of Office 2000?
I think it goes both ways, David. Actually, yeah, today when I have to look back, we find that there are so many of them who've been with us 15 years and above, and it's a matter of pride. It's so much a family today. I mean, like, when there are people who walk up to you and they tell you that we've got an offer from this multinational company, let me correct it. I was told by one of my clients that I have a confession to make. A few years ago, I offered this from a multinational bank. A few years ago, I offered this job to one of your boys and he refused. He said, I'm very happy to be with Office 2000 and you do not intend making a shift. And when I asked this gentleman, who's a part of our leadership team today, as to why he did it, why he refused a job which was as lucrative as what came to him from a multinational BFSI, He said, I simply didn't feel like leaving. I wanted to be a part of this organization, which has made me what I am today. I don't know what we have done to deserve it, but I know that we have been very unbiased and very truthful in our approach to ensure that every working moment of theirs with us is suitably rewarded.
Beautiful.
In all ways, whether it is by way of learning or by way of earning or by way of incentives or becoming a stakeholder within Office 2000, we make sure that they are amply compensated or they feel amply rewarded for whatever they bring to us.
Excellent. So, what is the future looking like, Prabha, for Office 2000?
It's very good. Post COVID, the industry is looking so rosy and beautiful. AV is something which has become uh, inevitable, a very integral part of any organization. It's a thorough business enabler. That's what we've been saying the past 20 years. But with every passing year, it becomes even more integral to the organization. It plays a role which is as critical or even more critical than IT. And I believe that industry is very promising. Industry has got a fantastic future. And for all those who are looking at very exciting, satiating, fantastic, remunerative roles, including the women out there who are looking to, uh, again, I really strongly love the fact that this is not stereotype. This is so very different, and there is so much scope for originality. People should look at AV and, and sort of give a chance for themselves.
Excellent. So, it's very clear from your conversation that it is not biased. It's not gender biased. It's an industry which is full of, opportunities. And anyone who has creativity can find their own way and create experiences to the customers.
Right.
Okay. So I still don't understand why many women are not coming into our industry. Probably one of the points what you made is maybe we've not represented AV as the way we have to, right? So moving forward, probably, all of us can take that additional step to encourage more women to come in. And what is the key takeaways you want to give off to the women who are listening to this conversation to come into our industry?
I want to tell them that they should not fear about something that they don't know. Uh, should they see or should they sense that this opportunity would actually provide them very interesting times, they should try it. Interest and excitement are two things that will code them to perform better. And this industry is, it's not just Office 2000. I find that this entire industry in itself is very, very diverse and very inclusive. The industry as a whole, and accepts everybody who wants to deliver as a part of the industry. And the more beautiful thing is the way the industry celebrates women. Avixa celebrates women big time. Globally, they have a very, very special group for women, which in itself is very, very motivating. I don't think you have women in manufacturing, you have women in BFSI. I mean, like, no, there are probably no women in leadership roles or something like that. But if you were to talk to a woman who's taken up AV as her future, I'm sure she will find all the exciting things that one would want to hear. The idea is to propagate this even while they are at college, to see if we could reach out to them and make a pitch and let them know what would be in store for them if they were to choose AV as their career. I'm sure we'll get there very soon with all the various steps that Avixa is taking, and all of us who are in the industry are taking towards that.
So are you planning to approach any colleges for campuses and select people?
We've already done that.
Okay.
We've already done that. We are in very active conversation with Tamil Nadu Skills Development Corporation, and they have been fantastic. In fact, we've just onboarded 19 people, all of them from a campus placement out of Anna Institute Coimbatore. So it is looking to be very promising. It is to be very interesting. And every single kid who came on board said, AV, nah, I have never heard about an industry like this. So for them, AV meant televisions at home.
Yes.
That's all it meant. And this was completely an eye opener. So when they walked into our office. So I think it's the knowledge about the industry, it's propagating the industry in its true form is what is required.
Yeah, I think as long as that is done, it doesn't matter man or a woman. Okay, so it's a home for everyone who wants to stay happily.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabha, for your inputs. And it was such a learning to understand, how our industry is shaping up and what kind of opportunities we are presenting to the outside world. Okay, it's a pleasure having you. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much.